Thursday love. Thursday love.
Hello, everybody.
What are you doing? Go ahead, talk to the people.
I said hello, everybody.
I thought you was gonna welcome in.
I was. You just said go ahead. You can give me time.
Woo.
Turn your volume down. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Love. Hope you guys have had a great day. We've been having a wonderful time over the past couple of weeks concerning the
Living my best life.
Yes, that's it. Living my best life. We've been having some awesome guests. We had awesome conversation, a bunch of laughter, a lot of nuggets that they've given us. And I'm sure we're going to catch a whole bunch of nuggets tonight. Don't you agree?
Apparently so if you have tuned in, I hope you have had a great day, a great week. I hope you have enjoyed this nice warm weather that we have been getting for the past couple of days. But tomorrow it's supposed to start raining. It's supposed to rain for a whole week.
Yes!
He's the only one excited about it. TJ loves that type of weather. So I love the beach warm weather. He loves that misty, rain, dreary type of weather.
It's still water.
But it's not the water I want. So I was about to say something.
Thursday Love.
No, I was thinking about that guy. Everybody been picking at that guy.
How many of y'all moist? You just wet. I'm sorry.
Just damp.
If y'all do that in church, I'm pulling your plug. Cut the whole system. Matter of fact, we're ready to take the microphone before we pour you some water.
Hey, Trivia. Hey, George. But
Steve, you need to do that in praise and worship. Come on, the Lord just want to make you moist. He want to wet you. I'm joking. Chris, you write a song about that. Just wet and moist.
Just wet and moist. But anyway, like
if your lips chapped, just worship.
So like TJ said, we have had some great guests on this past month. We have really enjoyed February Living My Best Life series. And so tonight, we're not going to hold up any longer because we started a little late, but we were just trying to make sure everybody was good. So for those who are tuned in, hit your share button, tag your friends and your family. We're going to talk about it tonight. So we got some special guests. They're going to tell their own testimonies tonight. They're going to share their own story, and they're going to let us know how it feels living their best life after being married, then divorced, and now they're single again, but they're living their best life. And they're going to tell us, how do we move on? How do we experience love again and how to just live life to the fullest? So we're looking forward to it, and we want to hear. Clarissa said she watched it today. It was crazy.
Clarissa, go in there with Elvis. Tell them, no,
y'all gonna sing that song. So we're about to bring everybody in and let them introduce themselves. We're excited. We're excited.
Mecca, I like your hair.
No. All right, there we go. Aaron made it. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Chris, you kind of dark back there, man. You're on mute. Can't hear you. I see your head shining, buddy.
But all right, so we don't hold everybody in. We have our special guests, Becca Williams, Chris Coleman, Aaron McNeil, and of course Stephen Colonel. So we're excited about them being with us on tonight. And so we're kind of gonna just jump right into it, because we know we got some stories to tell. But is there anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I still see that green ring and Steve Glasses and that panel behind him.
So how we get started, we're just gonna let everybody introduce themselves. So Mecca, since you're the only lady on the panel as the guest, we're gonna let you introduce yourself first.
Well, hello, I am Mecca Williams, and I'm 36 years young. I am originally from New York. I currently reside in Gastonia, Charlotte area. And do I say some more right now or just that's it?
A little bit about yourself, what you do.
Oh, okay. I'm a preschool teacher. I teach the babies. I teach 4-year-olds. That is my profession currently. I'm
Okay.
going to be transitioning to home daycare very soon. And
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that right now.
If anybody noticed, Mecca no longer has a New York accent. She got that North Carolina Gastonia twang.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, Aaron, you go next.
My name is Aaron McNeil. I'm 44 years old. I'm an IT project manager. I work part-time at Best Buy. I have 4 children. Um, I'm a drummer, chess player, amongst other things.
He's just a whole market development. He didn't have your whole coming.
All right, Chris, whatever you doing, come on.
There it is.
You on mute, Chris. You're muted.
Oh. Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Nope, can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Chris.
Come on, hold up. You get the church finger up.
That's that bathroom thing when they got to use the bathroom.
What about now?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you can hear me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So based on last week, I said I was gonna step up my game, make sure the light look good. You know, I got my food close. Did a lot of things to re-prepare myself this week. So my name is Chris Coleman. Run this little blog on Facebook and now on TikTok. Found a TikTok this week called Cold Words. I just talk about stuff that most folks want to talk about, but probably scared to actually have the conversations. Conversations are life-changing. And it's little things that I think about that I think everybody else thinks about. We all need to know, and it's a lot of expanding we can do. I just want to see people happy, but we got to be honest with ourselves to get there. I'm so happy to be here, and I will not leave, real drastically and fast like I did last week.
Hey, Chris, you look like this on your Facebook page.
What? Oh, it ain't moving. I'm having all types of technical difficulties tonight. Hey, but here's the thing. So if I just keep my face like really still, the crazy part is y'all don't know if it's technical difficulties or I'm doing it on purpose. So watch it.
Yeah, all right.
No, I was doing that. I did that on purpose.
Okay, so Steven, you have been with us all month. And
no, I'm doing that on purpose.
But for those who don't know, just give us a brief overview and then tell us, how have you enjoyed this month? What have you taken away from this month, this Thursday Loves Living My Best Life series?
Awesome. Steven, hey y'all. No. I've been on Thursday Love every Thursday, and forgive, I don't know what's happening outside. If y'all can hear the sirens, I apologize.
As long as they don't come in inside.
Right. I have enjoyed this Thursday Love every Thursday this month because it's taught me a lot about me, a lot about just life in general, life experiences. Everybody's experience is different, but the root is always love and appreciation for self. So it's just been fun, and I'm just glad to be here again. And I'm sad that it's my last Thursday night.
Wait, look, we getting the Thursday Love staff.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I'm so serious.
Yeah,
Sherry just hearing about it tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I've been with it. All right,
so quick thing. When If you, we'll let you know if we hear feedback or whatever, so you guys can press it on, put it on mute. Sometimes.
Yeah, when somebody else is
Yeah.
telling this, or just put it on mute. That'll help with just so we don't have to worry about feedback. But Mecca, Trivia, and George said, hey, I don't know if you have your regular phone, yeah, if you can share it on Facebook or something, and there's you can see the comments. But they said, hey,
it's the boost.
The boost said, hey.
Like,
but this past month has been very interesting, and it's good to hear everybody's point of view and how they feel about dating and being single. Because like we said before, we know how we felt when we were single and the things that we went through and the thoughts that we had. And no, just turn it.
It ain't nothing there.
Yes, it is. I just turned it down. Really, we gonna have this conversation? I'm talking.
I'm just saying.
I mean, like, seriously,
you're really killing this chapstick.
No. Anyway, so what I'm saying before I was really interrupted, things have changed back from when I was single back in the 90s or whatever. So,
so and you know about that.
But tonight is a different feel. Tonight, we have 3 special guests that they're going to share with us their story about being single, the transition from being single to being married, and then unfortunately from being married to being divorced, and now they're single again. But they're living their best life. They're moving on. They're moving forward, and they have the proof to show it. And so tonight, we just want to hear from them and just tell us, what were your thought patterns? How did you feel? The transitions? How did things go? Even from friendships and relationships and stuff like that. I don't know what Chris is doing, but yeah,
he just left the stage.
But yeah, so Aaron, we're gonna start with you. Just talk to us. Tell us your story.
Well, I got married July 15th of 2017. And we had a good marriage. Things worked out, really well in the beginning. I won't go into details. Her mom got sick, and she went into a very deep depression, and our relationship ended, based on that. The feelings that I would say I felt after that, of course, hurt. You're hurt. You're trying to figure out, if you could have done something different. What did you do wrong? What did you say wrong?
Right.
Could I have been more supportive? I think immediately for me, I'm always analyzing, looking at myself, trying to figure out, is it me? Did I do something? Did I not do something? And I started counseling. For me, I felt like I needed someone to help me navigate through the next few months. I was coming home to a wife every day, and I came home to an empty house. And, all types of emotions were going on during that time. Counseling actually really helped me. It helped me rediscover myself. It helped me identify flaws in my selection process. There were habits and things about my past that caused me to select a certain type of person. And I'm glad that I went to counseling, because it definitely helped me to resolve, some past issues. When you may have some hurts that you deal with inside, you pick people based on those past experiences. So I took a year completely off, no dating, no nothing, wasn't on no social media sites, and then after that year, I started to kind of peek my head out, and I really wasn't seeing the quality and the characteristics and, what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, it's been 3 years. I'm still single. But I've taken this time to reconnect myself with God. And I think that was important for me.
Right.
Because when I align myself with Him, it helps me to not fall into the traps. You get lonely during this journey.
Yeah.
You can't go from spending time with someone every single day to just completely being alone and it not affect you, at all. Right. So you struggle with loneliness, and I feel like God has helped me to reconnect with him. And that connection that I have with him is what helps sustain me throughout the journey. Even up until this point, you know, working, I'm a full-time student. You focus on God, and you focus on life, and you focus on your goals. You set goals and you focus on that. And when it's time, the right person will show up. You know, you keep praying, you really seek him. And I feel like I've done, you know, what I needed to do to correct my own flaws, issues, address things that I needed to address within myself so that I could be a better man, better husband, better father, and, you know, better Christian, you know, even in my spiritual walk. So it's been a journey, and it's been a good one, you know, and I think that I'm in a place right now where if I were to meet somebody, I could say that I was ready for a relationship, where I could not say that, you know, a couple of years ago.
Man, you said you hit on some of the stuff we talked about last week, and you said a lot of things. You talked about counseling, which in the church, you know, there's a side eye when you talk about counseling, you know, because from the way we was brought up, you know, whatever problems you have, you know, go to Jesus and he'll fix it and everything will be okay. Yeah, that is true in a way, but why would he put counselors here on earth and then give them the skills and the knowledge and the understanding to help walk us through that process of healing? You said that. And then another thing you said that was huge was you said that you strengthen your relationship with God. And usually in this type of stuff, most people, the last person they go to is God. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because they blame God really for being the one who did this. Why did you do this to me, God? You know, and then you talked about, one of the things you talked about last week is you took time to assess yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. To see, you know, the area that you need to improve in and areas you need to work on and what you may have done wrong, you could do better. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but you said you took time. You know what I'm saying? You took time. You didn't just jump right back into another relationship because you were lonely. You know what I'm saying? So you chose to face the fact of being alone. That's the risk you took of getting yourself to that place of healing. You know what I'm saying? Where you can feel like you're in a place where you can be who you need to be for you first before you can be for somebody else. But that is good advice, man. That's a book.
Yeah. About counseling, Aaron, about counseling. You said you went to counseling. Was that your own idea to go, or did somebody actually was like, why don't you go to counseling after this or whatever? Because you know how they do. What's the stereotype? Black men don't go to counseling.
I went on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went on my own. When I walked in my house and all of her stuff was gone, it was an eye opener for me. Wow. And I wanted to find out for myself where my flaws were. And I didn't want to go to my pastor. I didn't want to go to my spiritual father. I wanted to go to somebody that would just be unbiased, somebody who didn't know me. So I went to a secular counselor. And it was that counseling that helped me channel that energy back to God.
Wow.
Man, that is, dude, say that again, man, because most folks, Aaron, because most folks think when they go, if it ain't a Christian counselor, you know what I'm saying, that it can help you move back to God. That is so huge. Like, that is humongous to hear. Not just you saying, but a black man. And y'all don't, if y'all ain't never seen Aaron, they call him the Hulk because that dude is big, like the Incredible Hulk. But to hear a strong black man say that going to a secular counselor or going to a counselor period help direct him back to God, man, that is huge. That is huge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Amen. Amen. All right.
I'm going to see. Go ahead.
All right, Macca, we moving on. Macca. Which one? Wait. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Go ahead, Macca.
Well, unfortunately, I have the ability to be extremely transparent, and I believe that is my greatest gift. So
you good? Just no cursing.
So for me, I actually got married at the ripe age of 24. And at the time, I had married someone that was 20. Um, not really the wisest decision, but of course, you know, you kind of just and at the time I was like freshly back into submerging myself into God. I had graduated college, I graduated Central, and I was doing things in church, and I was very active, and I was focused. I had already recommitted myself, and I was like, you know what, I'm about to start being abstinent again. Like, I was just so focused, and it was the best place. And then in that stage of my singlehood, I call it a very shallow. I was a very shallow single. Um a shallow saved single, because all I was noticing and looking for was, if he just go to church by himself, you know, if he drives to church by himself. In my mind, I felt at 19 or at 24, I felt like, man, that's a sign, you know, that's good. You don't see no men just, you know, come to church by themselves. And I happened to, you know, notice someone that noticed me, and he was coming to church by himself, and I was coming to church by myself, and something in my head clicked, and I said, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe we can just go to church together. Yeah, no. So we did go to church together for a little while, and it wasn't, we were not equally yoked. I won't get into the logistics. I don't want to, you know, the character or make somebody's character look bad, but we were in two different places. We were in two different places with our salvation, and what I believed, he didn't quite believe to that extent. And because I was so determined, and it goes back to, I'll be honest with you, what Aaron was talking about, like that brokenness, I had to get counseling for some of this stuff later. But my type was a man that I could fix, because the insecurities in me, I needed to feel validated by helping someone. So I always needed a man that I could fix. I had to fix you. Like, if I could not fix you, we couldn't really rock, because there was something in me that I needed to be like your savior. Like, I had to be your personal Jesus. So I didn't learn that until I got older. And that's a whole nother story. But so we started dating. The dating went by extremely fast. And the main thing about it was because I was determined that, hey, I wanted to be abstinent at this point. And I didn't want to, you know, have sex before I was married and different things like that. And then we ended up slipping up. And like this Mecca at 24, I was like, I can't be functioning in church, having sex. You kidding me? We're not about to do that. Like, my conviction wouldn't allow me to do that. So I keep saying it, I was shallow and immature at that stage. Instead of just repenting and moving on, okay, you don't got to get married yet. I didn't choose to do that. I was like, you know what? We just need to get married, because I ain't about to be up here behind cameras and I'm talking to people. We're not about to do that. So we got married in 4 months. And TJ and Sherry, I think y'all remember. Well, we got married in 4 months. And it was very quick. And 4 months into the marriage, we hit the 8-month mark. We had no children yet. Both of us came to the table with nothing, no babies, no anything. So I thought that was real cool. Ooh, a man with no babies, you know, I thought that was cool. But he was 20, you know, duh. So 8 months into the relationship was when I saw the real him. And the crazy thing was, if I was a girlfriend, the girlfriend Mecca could have said, you know, deuces, this is not about to work. But because I was somebody's wife, that decision literally was nowhere in the spectrum of a decision. I just knew, well, we got married, you know, I can't just leave. I noticed some patterns and some behaviors that was like, this is not okay. But one, I didn't learn them until we were in the same space. That's a whole nother conversation. I didn't learn them until, you know, after we started to really learn some things that you only know after you kind of say, I do, in a way. And I wasn't able to handle it. But of course, at the time, I needed to fix him. So I was going to stick it out, because I was going to make myself know that I can fix anything. So a little fast forward, we ended up having our child, my first daughter. And I was so excited and I was so happy, because I was like, yay, I had a baby in wedlock. Like, I'm super deep. Like, it was, no, I had a baby in wedlock with someone that shouldn't have been picked. However, my child is not you know, she's still a blessing, but the wiser me would have made different decisions. After having that child, we went through some challenges in the marriage, and it came to a halt where, and this actually came from my pastor at the time, which was Apostle Spence. When we had marriage counseling, he specifically said, and to this day, I will always remember this. He said, Mecca, you know, you're 24. and he's 20. He said, when he turns 25, if y'all do not keep God in your marriage, it won't work. Those were the exact words. And I promise you, the 25th year of his life is when the marriage severed. And it was mainly because we had drifted away from God. I had allowed the strength of his pull, and it was very strong, and I was not strong enough to withstand that. I just drifted away. I didn't completely drift away from God, but I drifted away from all of the ordinances that keep me plugged in, going to church consistently, my circle of friends, like, completely disassociating myself with healthy people. And because at the time I'm thinking, we're married, I gotta leave and cleave. I gotta leave and cleave. I gotta stick to my husband. I wasn't mindful that I was cleaving to the wrong agent. And he was completely separating me away from God's arms, even though God is everywhere. But there were specific people in my life they were kind of like my gel. They helped me stay centered in God, because clearly, my background is I grew up Muslim. So Christ to me was like, what? I'm going where? Heaven, who? So it was still very new to me to learn certain concepts. So for him to keep those relationships was key and pivotal to my growth, even at that age. So fast forward to the end of us. When I became single again, we were married for 4 years. Technically, we were married for 5 years, but we separated after the 4th year. I had to wake back up because I had spent 4 years of having no convictions with sex, none. Like, what is that? The dating scene became something of an alien from another planet. Like, it was just, I didn't know what was going on out here. I almost felt I was scared. I was really scared to come out here, and I felt uncovered. So as a female, I'm not sure how, men, to the extent of how we feel, once you're married, you feel covered forever. Like, even to this day, I still struggle. Like, nah, you're alone right now. You got to handle some things and figure out some things without that. But when I had the covering, even though he wasn't really a covering, I still felt it. I felt a sense of security. I felt like, we can do this. So when I got back out here and I was by myself, it was very scary. It was very scary because at the time I was 29, about to go into my 30s. And I'm like, yo, I'm out here with a child. And I was the one that said I ain't going to have multiple children. And so, and as a female, now I feel like I'm martyred because I'm like, who gonna want me? And I got a child. Like, I'm going through all kinds of emotions because I'm like, I was single with no kids when I met him. And now I have a child and I got a baby daddy. People always label that and they don't know the story. So they just look at you like another type of statistic, Black with a child, no father. And it was so many things clouding my judgment in my head. I took a year of being single, but I wasn't single and focused at that time. I was single and I was still broken. And I promise you, I was picking up like missing pieces everywhere. Literally, I was shattered. So I ended up going to find the same spirit in a new body, literally. My next relationship was the same spirit. It was just encased in a whole new person, new name, new features, different height, little different weight. And once again, I spent 4 years in this relationship, but this was an unmarried relationship. But I spent 4 years in the next relationship. And it was then that I actually woke up and I was like, this is actually not about to work. You are about to be in your early mid-30s and you're repeating the cycles of your 20s, your 20s. What's happening? I ended up severing that relationship mainly because I actually did wake up. Like, I woke up to what I really wanted. At the time, I had one daughter. Fortunately, I left that relationship with a second daughter. And I realized I have girls. One day, this is going to be somebody's wife or mother. And what I show her, like in real life, what I show her is what she's going to duplicate. All this do as I say and say as I do. And they're going to do exactly what they see. Bump what you're talking about. So I literally had to flip the switch because I got nervous that this behavior is now going to become a generational curse that I'm creating for my offspring. Long truth short, where I am today, I like saying, you're single because if you apply for a job or something, it does not say dating in a relationship. It says single, married, widowed. Which one are you? You are not taken, sweetheart. So dating is not on an application. So mentally, I am still in a single state because I understand that God still has some things that he's, working out and working through me, and still not doing salvation as a single woman completely the right way, should I say, but I'm doing it the right way. I'm finally awake. The relationship that I'm in now, I am not the same Mecca that I was at 24. I am not rushing into marital anything, marital activities, marital mindsets. I'm actually, and thank God COVID has had a lot to do with this. I'm very appreciative because I'm scared for my health. I ain't trying to be around you anyway. So let me just, you stay over there. So that's helping. I praise God because that's helping to keep a lot of things very pure that probably would be tainted because you're able to kind of be in a different space. So I've been very appreciative of it, but I've been learning some things about myself in this singlehood now. I guess what I would want to leave for myself and for everybody else, as a single person, you have to start making sure that you're not putting the wrong responsibilities on a so-called partner. Things that are not another person's job, stop. Like, I'm in the relationship that I'm in now, there's certain responsibilities I am not putting on him. There's certain things that I'm not requiring of him because I need him to go get God for himself in those areas. That's not my job. But 24-year-old Mecca, I was going to be your personal savior, and I was dipping and dabbling in all of God's affairs, trying to be deep, acting like I was hearing something that I didn't hear, and it was evident because the relationship was going down the hill. So now, in a more mature singlehood, I feel that I'm more of a healthier mate for somebody because I am requiring them to go for God or go to God for themselves, and for me to go to God for myself. And when we conjoin, we literally are a conglomerate. So we're not dependent on each other's relationship. And so now that's where I am in the state of my singlehood. Amen.
Unfortunately, you got to go after that. Mecca, to be honest, girl, you are not the same Mecca.
No.
I mean, I remember the college Mecca. And it's funny how you said you were separating yourself from everybody. And I do remember that. You literally, y'all who don't know, she literally cut ties. Like she was doing the moonwalk, y'all. We knew that Mecca. And she all of a sudden was like, yo, what's going on? And yeah, she really did. She did. Very
What I remember is y'all used to bombard me with questions.
Mm-hmm.
And Mecca was one of them. She used to bombard me with questions because I was older, and me and TJ had we dated for 6 years, and then we were the first ones to get married.
Well, that was a long time.
We was the first one out of the young crew to get married.
When we were young, we was older than everybody.
Yeah, we weren't older than everybody, but we were still young,
Well,
but Mecca used to ask a lot of questions, and the thing is, I'm elated.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the difference, you know what I'm saying, from the time you were getting married to what you're just speaking now. Because it takes a real strong woman or a man to actually see yourself. You said you did go to counseling, but to mature from that place, you know what I'm saying, and to honestly realize that you have two girls looking up to you. I think sometimes with single mothers, just from the ones I know or people that I know, that they don't think about that. When they bring that man into the home, or a single father, when they bring that woman into a home, the children may laugh and giggle and like them, but they see this pattern. And so when they get older, they're going to think this pattern is okay. Like, all right, mommy used to bring this guy in, daddy used to bring this girl in, I can, it's going to be like second nature. It's not even going to be a conversation discussed. And I think that is so great that, you see that now, and that because a lot of women, in my opinion, I see some women, I ain't gonna say all, but some women, I can see that is not important to them, because the thing was, you took the time out to realize that you were broken in some areas, and so it did take another relationship in order for you to see that. And sometimes we bump our heads a couple of times before we realize, okay, something ain't right here, and I need to fix me. I need to get myself together because something ain't working, and I have to do better, because now I got a couple of eyes looking at me, and I got a couple of ears listening to everything that I say, and they're watching me. So, I think it's major.
and what I like is I like the contrast between the contrast and similarity between you and Aaron's story. Your stories are different, but but you guys came to the realization somewhat similar but somewhat different. Like Sherry said, for you it took another relationship. For Aaron, it was like when he saw the house that was empty, it's like, yo, something is going on. It's like, but what I love is that epiphany went off that, okay, I got to change something, or I'm gonna keep doing. I love how you said it. You said you found the same spirit in a different body. What's that movie, man, by Denzel Washington, where the spirit just hops?
Was it Deja Vu?
No, it wasn't Deja Vu. What's the movie, y'all? Where the time is on my side. Yes, it is.
I know what you're talking
that
about.
movie. It's not Pelican Brief.
No,
it's the one he made with
I know what you're
that movie where that spirit, it jumped from different when they would kill one or put one in jail, that spirit would jump to another person. And at the very end, after the person died, the spirit jumped into another cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what you said was
it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie, but what you said was like a spirit transfer. Like Satan knew your type. So he just took that spirit. When you left that one, he said, all right, that worked for her. Now I'm gonna take that spirit and put him in another. You know what I'm saying? And I love how you recognize that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, with the other nuances, but both of y'all, I love it how no matter what happened, it brought you guys back full circle with Christ.
But how was counseling for you though, Mecca?
Counseling, initially when I went, I set it up for the both of us because I was trying to reconcile with my marriage. I was trying to bring it back together. So I found a counselor and we showed up. And when I got to the counseling session, the first question was, why are you here? And I specifically said, to reconcile and to get our marriage together. And he said, for closure. And I like the whole like a wind, like a mighty rushing.
Did you see yourself?
I was traumatized. I couldn't believe that the words that were coming out of his mouth were like reality. But kind of going back to what I said earlier, I kind of knew that the marriage was over, and it was actually over a year before it was over. And I had gotten a sign, but I didn't act on it. So when he said those words, it almost was like confirmation, like, Mecca, stop it. Cut it out. Okay. Let's just work on you. This is over. Okay. And then let's move forward. So after that counseling session, I was doing one-on-ones, and what it was showing me, a part of those counseling sessions was allowing me to see that I enjoyed brokenness in other people because of the insecurity in me. And that's something even to today, I don't disregard the fact that I love helping people because I know that that's like a part of what God has me to do, but I know that there's a line. And I feel myself when I'm getting to that point where I'm trying to save the world and I know it's catering to another part of me that still developing and healing, I pull myself back because I understand that I'm feeding a spirit that has to die because I'm still currently working on her. That spirit that needs to be needed to help. So I know when to pull back now. I never knew how to say no, but now even in church and with, people that I love, I know how to tell you no, because I don't need the validation of you thinking that I'm needed, not that I'm needed by you. A lot of people don't understand, like they think the ministry of helps is wonderful, but when you don't have balance, you're literally gonna abuse what you think is a gift because you're using it to cater to other parts of you that need to die. And when I learned that, it was a wrap. So that's what the counseling did for me. And like Aaron, it was a secular counselor. I deliberately did not go to a spiritual counselor because I didn't need to speak in tongues right then. I needed you to talk English to me and tell me what's wrong with me. So that's what it did.
So I'm sorry. You're there.
I was going to ask. Okay, I want to ask this question. So, okay, so you said you was trying to fix him, and when you said that, it made me think about some women. Most of us, we're very controlling. And a lot of us have that problem of trying to control or fix our husbands or our boyfriends because we think they're not working the way we want them to work. And so you say it stems from an insecurity, because of did you say because of the brokenness within you? Yeah. Okay. So
yes.
would you say I ain't gonna say that is the solution for all women, but would you say that is probably the part of the problem? Jesus. For most women, the reason why we try to control and fix men when we get in a relationship, because they're not doing what we want to do. They're not working how we want them to work. They're just not functioning the way we want them to do it.
Yeah, and it is a control thing.
Yeah.
So the name of the movie by Denzel Washington, and it's wonderful what you said. The name of the movie is Fallen. That's
Thanks,
the name of the movie.
Trivia.
Thanks, Stevie. It's called Fallen. And so when you think about brokenness, and I remember you said you were picking up pieces all over the place. It had because things have fallen. And so the movie but if you haven't seen that movie, y'all, it specifically no, I'm serious, because it outlines what you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like I said about the spirit's transfer. And because not only in relationships, man, we do that junk in general in life. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain particular thing we like, and we think we cured from it, and that spirit just jumps to another situation, and it keeps attracting us. Not just men and women, but just situations in general, even in the church. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps pulling. The same spirit keeps pulling us, and until you recognize, like you said, until you wake up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's counselor or whatever, until you wake up and say, "Hold on, it's not everybody else. It's actually me." I need to get me together. I need to look myself into the mirror and say, "Hey, you need to wake up because you screwing you up."
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Taking accountability for you. I love it. I'm ready to read y'all books, man.
It's like, Lord forgive me if any white people like this. For you. Sorry, it's just the moment.
Stop being jealous because you can't do that.
Anyway, I appreciate it, Becca. We appreciate it.
Country softball.
Come on, Chris. Let's hear you, sir. You ready before you jump back out?
What the devil I'm supposed to say? Y'all tell me what I'm supposed to say after that.
Give us a code word. Steve is just like.
That was Jesus. Y'all done touched on Jesus. Y'all done touched on secular stuff. And I was having so many problems connection-wise. I ain't even heard the question. What are we talking about now? I heard the story. What's the question?
Smaller than the church.
The what now?
You sound like a quartet singer squalling in church.
What, is that loud?
It's distorted.
It's just a little bit. But no, change it.
All right. What about now?
Leave it alone, Chris. Leave it alone.
What about now?
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
No, I just asked everybody to share their own testimony about being, married, from single to married to divorced to single again. Just tell us how your transition worked. How did it affect you? What is your testimony and now to living your best life? I'm just letting everybody share their own testimony.
The one thing about marriage is and I'll say this now, I didn't want to get married until I was about 37.
Oh, wow.
I did not want to get married. And the reason behind that was I felt like by 37, I would have some wisdom about me. I would have my finances together. I'm gonna say some stuff to jump on. I would have got all the hoe out of me that I needed to get out. Sold all my roll oats, did whatever I wanted to,
right,
with whoever I wanted to, and then by the time I settled down, that'd be cool. I did not do that. I got married at 25 to the love of my life. I've been with my girlfriend on and off since I was 17 years old. Thought we was about to ride off in the sunset. A year into marriage, she lost her job, and for the next 7 years, we didn't even stay in the same house. So, marriage hit me in the face. Fast forward to 2014, 2015, marriage got real rocky. What happened after marriage was I began to, like everybody else, I began to pay attention to myself. And like many of us said, I started to really figure out that the reason I shouldn't have got married is because I just wasn't ready to get married. I shouldn't have did it. I should have stopped myself. I should have just, it would have been very beneficial for me to just piss her off and just go to the altar and say, hey, we're done. But I would have been better. I would have been fine. Because then we could have looked 15 years later and we would have been cool because we didn't make a bad decision. What I'm looking at now is everything. And here goes the other thing. I always said that to bring it to now, I always said that I was going to be a one and done dude. I didn't want to get married. And I said, when I did get married, that was it. Not going to do it no more. I'm not putting my heart back through that. I'm not putting my psyche back through that. If it don't work, I'm gonna adopt me some daughters and
I think about some dogs.
And I'm out of here. I'm just gonna live and be a good dad. Fast forward to now, I've changed my whole mindset about that. Because what I had to do was I can't live on the same decisions at 39 that I made at 25.
Right.
I can't. I'm a whole new person now, so I can't do it. I mean, this is a whole different thing. I'm thinking different. I'm acting different. And the one thing about now that I'm proud of myself about in this living my best life is that I'm way more accountable. And the main person I tell no the most is myself.
Wow.
I tell myself no a lot because I refuse to take myself down the same roads that led me to writing a lot of these cold words. Mm-hmm. Nah. Just because I lived that before, I do not have to live the rest of my life in the turmoil that I took myself through in my youth. So if that means I have to deny myself some stuff for a better tomorrow, that just means I'm a grown up now. That's what living my best life is, man.
Wow. You made a statement in the beginning. You was like, if you had an opportunity to tell yourself no, you wouldn't have done it. But be honest. And anybody can really answer. Chris, Aaron, and Mecca. Like at the age of 20, between like 25, 20 and 30. Let me say 20 and 30 or whatever. If you have friends around you, family around you telling you no, don't do it, would you have listened?
No.
Mm-mm. And the biggest thing with me, it wasn't that anybody was telling me don't get married. They just said don't get married right now. Your head ain't together. And It took me 15 years to learn, my head wasn't together.
Yeah.
And honestly, and a lot of people be like, the biggest one is, you know what, but I appreciate the experience. I appreciate going through it, though. I feel good. No, I don't have to touch a stove to know. In this age, I ain't got to touch a stove to know it's hot. No, I'm just going to pick it. Okay, it's hot. Okay, cool. I don't want to I'm at the age now, I'm not going to put undue stress on myself just to make a point or to prove something. Nah, I'll just deny. I'm cool with just letting that go now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how I found out the tea was hot. I grabbed it and the pot slipped out of my hand, fell on my wrist, and burned the whole thing. I had a big old bubble of pus on my arm. And I still got it today.
Yeah. So, okay.
I think you probably made a copper too, because you old.
My hair ain't gone yet, Chris. It's on the way, but it ain't gone there yet.
Hey, wait till I go to Atlanta.
What
I'm
you
gonna come
gonna
back from Atlanta on the weekend. I'm gonna have a head full of hair. Just watch.
So my thing is, so with yours, Chris, though, you didn't go to a counselor or whatever. You just it was like an eye opener for you, was it?
Oh no. I didn't go to one counselor. I went to 2 counselors. I ended up with 3 counselors. Matter of fact, I did one did one counseling by myself, did two couples counselings while we were married, then did a counseling, the eye-opening counseling after I got married. After things got rocky, heading back to counseling soon, and I'm going to school for counseling. So I'll be a counselor in 2 years. I absolutely believe in the power of counseling. And honestly, I don't think some of these preachers, and hey, this is just me, and I don't think some of these preachers got the right to be counseling nobody. Some of these folk ain't, no.
What's your cash app?
No, y'all ain't got the right. Some of these, and hey, I'm sorry, some of these pastors messy, and some of the stuff that they're putting on, they're projecting on the people, are setting them up for toe up relationships. You and let's be honest, y'all done went to counseling. It's a science to counseling. You ain't just getting up in there talking and sharing your feelings and somebody telling you what to do. A counselor helps you reframe your thinking, putting things out on the table so you can make a decision. Ain't nobody supposed to be telling you nothing. They're supposed to be laying everything out for you so you can make a decision. If anybody's told you what to do, they're not counseling you. They're trying to lead you.
Tiffany got him. His girl got him.
You better see it, Chris. You better see it.
Tiffany got you, Chris.
But nah, just words. But to be real, I am all about that whole go see somebody with some letters behind their name who done went to school and know how to talk to you and talk you through some stuff. Right. And you can get some spiritual stuff on the side if you want to, but go and get your some help.
I can vouch for that, because I even believe, set aside from just marriage, like even since I am a pastor, I think that even as a pastor, you have to know what your skill is and what your skill is not. Like if you're a pastor and you don't prophesy, how are you going to teach a school of prophets when you don't? That's not your area that you operate in. You know what I'm saying? So I think as a pastor, you have to know. I think one of the thing is a great thing is as a pastor is you don't have to know everything, but you do have to know who to send your people to. You know, that's the key. A lot of pastors feel like they got to do everything themselves, and if you don't go to them, then you disrespectful. No, if that's not your area, and you don't have any, I get it, the Holy Spirit can reveal things. True, that is possible. But if you're a single pastor, why are you counseling a married couple? You know what I'm saying? And
there's a lot of single pastors that do that.
But still, it's still generally. I honestly believe if you're a pastor's wise, you need to have your wife need to be in it also, so they can hear two different areas of the marriage side.
I don't know, because if you think about it, there's a lot of counselors out there, licensed counselors. They're not married, but they have their license in marriage and family counseling.
But most pastors are not licensed. They didn't go to school for that stuff. Okay. If as a single counselor, you went to school for that. You've been through different scenarios and so forth and so on. So you have educational, you have the training. But as a pastor, you have Jesus. And you might have been a theology school, but theology school is not counseling. It just teaches you about the Bible. And I can speak for that because I have an MDiv, so I can tell you about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think the husband and wife, because those two, the husband and wife, need to hear both sides, or you know what I'm saying? It needs to be balanced and not just one-sided. But that's just not personal.
And here goes another thought from the counseling side. Whether it's a single counselor or a married counselor, a lot of the counselors are not going to give you, most counselors are not going to give you personal
opinions,
right?
Personal opinions. Most of their thing, and anybody who maybe this is a spoiler, But when you go to counseling, they are pulling things out of you so you can pay attention to them. That's
Right.
it.
They create the picture so that you can see all sides, and at the end of the day, you see yourself in all of that.
And you put the
At the end of the day, it makes you accountable for you.
And the last thing a counselor is going to say, you should do this. You should do that. That's not their job to tell you what to do. That's not their job to give you advice. Their job is to open your eyes so you can give yourself advice.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the biggest accountability partner that you have is yourself.
Mecca, Aaron, and Steven, y'all feel free to chime in anytime. We're just talking. So yeah.
I have a question. So being married young, for those of you that were married young, how was it adjusting to, or from what you thought was good for you to now I guess a situation where you have to kind of be good to yourself? Like the person wasn't as good to you as they should have been, but you have to learn to be good to yourself so you know that they, I don't know, I guess I should have thought about my question a little bit better. How did you adjust from the marriage to now being single at an early age still? Does that make sense? Like you married young, but you had to adjust at the same time, still young, trying to figure things out. Does that make sense? No.
I mean, I get it because I mean, Aaron is 44, so and Mecca and Chris are younger than that. So
40.
most people who get divorced, they normally get divorced in their 50s and 60s, but you're saying they're still young.
You were
so
still
while
young.
they're younger than 50.
That? Right.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mecca.
I think let me stab at it. So I think for me, when I got divorced, I was 29. And so from 24 to 29, there was some growth by default just because it was happening organically. But after I got divorced, it became intentional growth that I was determined was going to happen because of the damage. And because I was damaged so much in the marriage and went into a new relationship and repeated the cycle, my growth ended up like the switch came when I finally woke up after the last year 4, and I realized I spent 8 years with the same spirit, and I'm the common denominator. Just like TJ was saying earlier, I'm the common denominator. Like, so my growth ended up happening after that last 4-year relationship. I took a year and a half of a break of nothingness in every way because I knew that, to be honest, it's not good to say the word retarded, like, but that was some slow moments that was like, the elevator's not going to the top of the, you gotta, come on. Yeah, something's not right. And it's you. So my growth, just even being that young, getting married and then getting divorced still in my 20s and then transitioning to my 30s, kind of carrying that same behavior into a new era of life. I just hit a wall to where I knew that I was going to be forced to grow, or I was going to be probably damaged forever at that point. And maybe not forever, but wake up. That's where I was for that youth part. I hope that answered it.
Well, I like the fact that you thought, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I like the fact that you said that if you hadn't made a decision, this could have been a life-lasting decision. Like you would have been damaged forever. That's huge. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry. That was huge.
During my journey, I would say that I learned that we were created in God's image. With us being created in his image, there's a power that he possesses that we have, and that's power of resurrection. And the enemy will have you walking through the cemetery of your past, resurrecting dead stuff. And I realized that from the age of 17, when I started dating, to where I was in my 40s getting married, that there was a cycle of just broken relationships. So when this relationship broke for me, the one thing I knew I had to do was reconnect with God. And I knew that this time, in order for me to do it right, I had to do it God's way. And the only way for me to do that was to reconnect with him. But I had, as a person, as a man, as a father, I had to get me straight, which is why I chose to go with a secular counselor. And it was that journey, like I said previously, that reconnected me to God, because it was him that I was trying to find. But I couldn't find God because I was blinded by the hurt and the pain. So the counselor helped me get through the hurt and the pain. And then once I'm through the hurt and the pain, now I'm able to see God clearly, and I'm able to allow him to lead me and guide me across the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess for me, I just had to realize at points I sucked as a husband. And that was just rough. That was the roughest thing that I had to deal with. I had to say, and I mean, this is transparency. Me and my ex-wife had, good God, a 45-minute conversation in the courthouse right before they called us up to finalize the divorce. And, we just talked, but even before then, I had to come to grips with the fact that I just was not a good husband. And when I did make the decision to not uphold the one and done thing that I said I was going to do when I was 25, I made the decision that I want to get married again, and I want to be a good husband. I don't want to suck again. I don't want to fail again. That hurt. That divorce hurt. Divorce hurts. And the one thing that people don't realize about divorce, nobody, and I know some people be talking about, and I hope I'm still answering the question, but some people feel like, oh yeah, she won in that divorce, or he won. Man, divorce sucks, and everybody loses.
Yeah.
And it's not great. And I don't know what I wish I could have had the feelings that these people who partying and blah, I didn't have that.
And divorce party.
No, divorce sucked. But divorce sucked enough for me to put myself in a position and a place at 39 that I will not have another sucky marriage that because of my action. That's kind of what I got.
Right. I'm not a part. I mean, I haven't. Lord's will. I pray we'll never get divorced. But I've heard so many times that divorce sucks, and I've heard somebody else make that statement as well. Like, I don't see how people throw divorce parties and all that stuff. But I guess it depends on whoever. But I was a product of divorce. My parents got divorced, and it was ugly. To see the sheriff come to my house and take my dad away, like, you have to go. It was a mess. It was drama. So I can just imagine being a child watching stuff like that, or even just seeing your parents go through that difficult stage of them transitioning, and you can't really explain it because my mom never really talked about it. My dad never talked about it. They never said anything pertaining to that. Like, why are you doing? Like, I want to know, why are y'all doing this? So how did your children, if you don't mind me asking, is this conversation had with the kids?
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I separated, my oldest daughter at the time was 3. So what was happening was she knew something was different. I wasn't able to verbalize what was happening at the time to her, but just because it wasn't age appropriate, there was really no way for me to even say it. Not only that, I didn't even have the education quality to do it with her at that time. But she was used to dad and mom being in the bed with her. She would always get in the bed with us, always in the bed with us, like always in the bed. So she was used to that threefold dynamic always. And when he actually left, it was me and her, and she began to have horrible tantrums. Every single night she would cry, and scream and kick. And it was point, like I was sitting on the ground crying with her. Like I couldn't, there was nothing I could do. And as a mom, and I became a single mom overnight, I began to overindulge. And I caught myself when she was 4, because she was gonna be smacking me in Walmart if I didn't pull back. As a mom, like you start to overindulge in just giving them everything because you feel guilty that your family is broken. You start doing everything. Yes, baby, what you want? Everything is yes. You're catering, and male and female children, it doesn't matter. And that's why a lot of single moms, and that's a whole nother conversation, but they overdo it because they're compensating. They're trying to compensate for the missing parent. When I checked myself and I realized it wasn't my job, I spoke to my daughter at the time. I said, me and your, because he had already moved on. Amen. He moved on. It was broadcasted. Everything was on Facebook, and that's how I found out. But anyway, I let her know. I said, mommy and daddy, we're still gonna, we love you, and we're still gonna be here for you. But we're gonna have, he's gonna have a new family now. And she, she had been introduced to some of the kids and stuff, so she kind of already knew something was changing. But I did sit down and let her know that it's just me and her for a while. She's like, well, I like you, mommy. I'm like, okay, cool. It's just gonna be us. And she felt the dynamic difference when she came to me. It was just me and her for a very long time. And when she would go to her dad's, he had a whole nother situation. So I did have that conversation with her, not immediately just because of her age, but I think that it's definitely crucial to have that conversation with your kids. Otherwise, they're gonna literally feel like, and they'll start blaming themselves first because you haven't included them on the dynamic of what's changing. But if you include them, really show them, baby, this really has nothing to do with you, but it will affect you in every way. And however you want to, say that based on their age, but yeah, I definitely did include her in what was going on.
Yeah. Aaron, Chris, the kids weren't affected? No?
No, my kids are babies, and we didn't have children in the marriage, so.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, my kids are non-existent. I don't have any. Yeah, that was something else that kind of got left on the table in the marriage. So
I'm sorry, I didn't know for sure. So
no, and I still, and from what I know from my teens and my college years, I don't think I have any running around. But if I ran for president or I get called up to be a bishop, I'm sure they'll come and find me.
all right, so Chris has already answered this question, but Mecca and Aaron, do y'all desire to be married again?
I do. I can honestly say I do. And I'm just, at this point, I'm not like actively looking, but really just, I'm busy, man. I work, church, between work, church, and school. I don't have time to date.
They're laughing at yourself.
I'll be so busy. But I do desire, and I feel like if someone of quality came along, I'll make time.
Okay, Mecca.
Absolutely. I was not the bitter divorcee female. I absolutely love marriage. I loved it even when it was demolishing and going down, because I know that's the epitome of what I feel like the structure of life is centered around. So absolutely. One day, and this time, it'll be approached very wisely and patiently, and won't be in haste because I'm trying to cover up. I'm not going that route anymore. I'm just not doing it. So I feel that coming out of a divorce, I actually feel even more empowered because I know what I did wrong. Ha! Wow. I'm so excited. I know exactly what I did wrong, and I love it because now, even in the relationship that I'm in now, and I don't call him a boyfriend. First of all, I'm 36. He's my significant other. I don't know if that bothers him, but I don't call him my boyfriend because it just makes me feel some kind of way. And then once you've been married, for me as a female, it's hard for me to say boyfriend again, and I had a husband. So it's like, he's my significant other. I feel that I'm more of a mature this is more of a mature partnership to where I'm looking for the right things. So I know I'm not dating you haphazardly, and this literally has a destination. And if I feel that we're not destined to go to that same place, I will sever ties. I'm at that place now that I can do that without feeling guilty or, oh, I feel sorry for, like, I love marriage. So to answer the question, absolutely. And it will be a real wedding this time. I'm not no hot shotgun. That is a real wedding. Okay. Amen.
I think what's amazing to me to hear is you said, I know what I did wrong. Like, you have so many people, not even divorced. You got so many people who are still married who won't even admit that they're wrong. Like, Sherry will not, I'm joking. You have so many different people who will not, they won't admit it. Like, they will not admit that they're wrong. Like, they'll argue for days. They'll stay mad at one another, not talk for days because they refuse to admit when they're wrong and
or even own their part.
On their part. And what all three of you guys have said, which is honestly, I think is actually unheard of. All three of you guys said, look, I had some areas, like Chris admitted it, Aaron admitted it, you admitted it.
Look, Mecca, he said, how big a wedding?
Oh. But just the fact that, and that shows to me that you guys are either completely healed or you're close to healing because you're able to admit that you're wrong. Most people who are hurt or devastated, they point the finger at somebody else about what they did and what they did, this and this and that. But even in, like, okay, so when Sherry, I thank God we're still married. Even when she is wrong, or even when I am wrong, let me say it. Yeah, I'm right. Even when she's wrong in some areas, I still did something, or something came from me to cause that reaction from her. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it's great that you guys are able to just doggone take accountability. Like, that is just huge. That big old A, that is humongous.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Steven, you got anything anything else you want to ask or whatever before we shut it down?
I just really enjoyed this.
Do you guys have any advice for people who have maybe recently divorced or in the middle of the separation period that may be in their late 20s, early 30s? Do you have any advice for them?
Yes, really quick, and then I'm gonna stop talking. My advice would be to make sure that you feel every single emotion. Don't try to fast forward the healing. Don't try to act like it ain't that deep. You can move on. I can do bad by myself. I'm better without him. All of that foolishness that we lie to ourselves and say because we want everybody to think that we're strong. Why? Because I did it. I tried to get over my divorce literally in like 3 days. I was going to work like, girl, yeah, hey, life was not good. And I suppressed the actual emotion of feeling the break. And so what happened was 7 months later, I had a meltdown. Literally, I had a physical meltdown. I probably should have been checked in somewhere, but I just rocked in the corner and got over it. But because I had suppressed it that long, the emotions overtook me. So my advice to anybody that's gotten divorced, going through a separation, even in the middle of debating to leave someone that may be unhealthy, or that this is what God is saying, if you don't feel every moment, I promise you're setting yourself up for the okie doke, and it's not going to be a pretty picture. So don't be afraid to feel what's happening. Feel it so that the moment of that emotion can take its course and it can move on so that you can move on. Now, it won't rush your process of healing, but you will heal properly. Like, you will just heal properly when you make sure that you feel it. So that would be my advice.
How can y'all top that, fellas?
And Chris?
like,
I say just be patient, fix yourself, and don't try to fix what is already broken. A lot of times we try to fix the relationship. We want to fix other people. Just fix you. Focus on you. Start setting goals and focus on those goals. You still have a life to live beyond the hurt. There's a life to live beyond the pain. And you can't just, and I'm not saying don't feel, as she said, you know, feel every emotion, but in you feeling those emotions, take that energy and channel it into a new goal, a new endeavor. Write a book, go to school, change your career. Like, find something to take the negative energy and channel it into something good. That way you always have something that's keeping you occupied and you're not focusing on the past.
Okay, great.
Abraham Lincoln.
My advice is don't leave that marriage until you're good and ready. And I say that because all these people who telling you to get divorced or
Leave that man.
telling you
Yeah.
to leave them, you know, they don't know the whole story and they don't know the inner workings of marriage, probably. And if they know the inner workings of marriage, they don't know the inner workings of your marriage. And what happens is some people leave partners because of the advice of people on the side, not because they wanted to do it. And then they left some things on the table. I am a proponent of marriage. You fight for marriage until the gavel drop.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And as far as husbands, I can talk from a husband. A husband should be a husband in some way until that gavel drops. You have to. Just because you separated, that doesn't. You still have responsibility, and especially, this is my plea, especially to fellas with kids. During a divorce, look out for your kids, yo. Look out for your kids. Because it's a lot of kids that they get lost in a divorce and they lose their daddy and they lose their mama and then they end up losing themselves. So my biggest thing is if you are separated right now or you are looking to get divorced, you exhaust every daggum option you got before you walk out. Don't leave anything to chance. Don't leave anything on the table. If there's an option, try to take it. If you need to move. If you need to buy another car, get another car. Shoot, if you got to go to Dominican Republic and get a new nose, hey, at least put that.
Oh,
hey,
really?
get a new nose.
God.
Okay, maybe not a new nose, but I'm saying, but honestly, I think a lot of people, especially in our era, they act like marriage is a lease agreement. You know, well, I can get married, but a couple of years, hey, if it don't work out, we can just go. Oh, yo, this is binding.
Yeah.
And if you're actually holy about it, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Do not let that thing go.
I think that's the thing. The world, society has made it seem so easy.
It's so
I can get married and I can leave you and I can get divorced to move on. And that's why we have divorce parties. You know, like there's nothing spiritual about it no more. There's nothing binding about it no more.
Don't let your marriage go until you have exhausted. And pretty much that's my thing. Don't let your marriage go until you have exhausted all options, till you can walk away and say, you know what? I did everything I could. I did every single thing. You can't tell me that I did not work my tail off to try to make this work.
Yeah.
And then you can look back a couple of years later and say, I did good.
Yeah, because that was gonna be my last question, but I know the time is running. Like, do you have any regrets? Do you have any regrets? And then that's gonna be my question. That's gonna be it for me. Even though I got like 5 more questions I want to ask, but that's gonna be it.
I don't have any regrets. I embrace every experience, you know, from the start to the finish, and I'm happy and proud of where I am now. I'm much better, smarter, more focused, and I'm a better person, a better man, and I know I'm gonna be a better husband. So I don't have any regrets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the same lines as that, as well as Aaron just said. I don't have any regrets, because all of the things that I really did learn in the first marriage, I feel like really has prepared me to know. And like I said before, like I do know what I did wrong, so I know how to approach it very differently now. I'm not as super deep as I thought I was, because I was shallow. All I was doing was learning things from books, and I read a lot about marriage and the 10 love languages, and I thought I knew everything going to the table because I was reading about how to be a wife. But then when I got to marriage, my reality was like I knew nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was Stevie Wonder. Like I literally was like, what? I really didn't know what was happening. So now I feel like that whole experience has completely prepared me to be the best wife to my future husband one day, and to really be an asset. I went into my marriage, even though I wasn't needy. I went into my marriage a liability. I wasn't bringing nothing to the table. I definitely wasn't bringing nothing spiritually to the table. So now it's a whole nother ball game, because I know my worth. I know the wealth of what I'm bringing to the table, and I understand the favor that he's about to get. Like, he don't know, but I understand the favor that he's about to get because I'm coming to the table right. So I feel like there are no regrets. I just really feel like all of those experiences have allowed me to have just an abundance of wealth for the next and last marriage that I feel that, God will have for me.
That's right.
And you said Stevie Wonder, he also moving to Africa. So,
Ghana.
Still Africa.
Chris, any regrets?
I'll be honest. This is transparent. I just regret that I wasn't a better husband. That will always sting. It will always sting to the fact that I got somebody to the point where they fell out of love with me. That still burns. That will burn. But it's also something that I use as motivation.
Yeah.
Where in any future, in my current relationship, I bust my tail. Mm-hmm. I examine, not for her as much as it is, you know what? I deserve to treat you. I deserve to treat you like you need to be treated. I deserve to set the bar. I need to set this bar. Not just for you. I need to set this bar for me. I gotta be a better dude. I gotta be a better dude this time.
I need to set the bar for you.
Amen.
I need to be a better dude.
Anyway.
Where the bar at? Wherever it is, let me know. I'm gonna set it.
I just want to be, I think that's me. I regret just that's it stings. It still stings. But I think my biggest thing is it stings enough to motivate me to put a smile on this girl's face every moment I can. So
Cash App.
Mecca, Chris, and Aaron, y'all have truly blessed us on tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your experience, your wisdom, and your hurt and pains. Because you didn't have to,
healing.
And your healing, because you didn't have to. And so we truly appreciate it. And Stephen, of course, it's not about me. Don't do that. Jesus Christ. Stephen, as always, thank you. Next time we do, you're gonna be right here with us again. So
there.
So this tonight concludes our February month of love. Living our best life, singles edition. I have truly enjoyed every week. And tonight really topped it off. Y'all really have opened our eyes to see so much.
Say the best for last.
Yeah, y'all truly have. And I thank you. We thank you so much. So we pray that I pray that you do get everything your heart's desire with this new level or this new season of your life.
Yeah.
The healing that has taken place, learning to know your own self-worth and self-value, knowing who you are, being strong in your own identity. I love it. I love it. We encourage you to continue to grow and evolve and be the best Chris, Mecca, and Aaron you can be. And so when God does say, yeah, Mecca, here's your king, Aaron, Chris, here's your queen, then it'll be all set and forth. And then you will learn to grow together. Because like I said, Thursday Love's motto is loving me, loving you, and loving us. We first have to learn how to love me first. I have to learn how to love me first so I can learn how to love you. And once I learn how to love you, then we can learn how to love us, because it's 3 different dynamics. Because honestly, when you get together and you start living with somebody and you start evolving and growing with somebody, the changes you go through, you know, it's ever evolving, and you have to learn how to deal with that and grow with that.
I mean,
don't do that. So we pray that y'all have a blessed night. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Thank y'all.
And we love y'all.
Yes.
We love y'all. We do. We most definitely love y'all.
Love y'all too. This was awesome. Thank y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Look at
Thursday love. Thursday